Okay, welcome Multnomah Village to week 95, Justice for Qadira. And we're going to get started with an article because something happened a couple days ago that I think is really significant in terms of our protest and what we're trying to get done here. Phil Knight gives $400 million to benefit Black Portlanders. Is that correct? Let's see. Phil Knight, the billionaire co-founder of Nike, is contributing $400 million to a new investment fund to support Black residents of Portland. Before I get started with the article, I will tell you that I consider this a huge slap in the face that the Black community is accepting this money, especially while we're out here. And they're not asking that this be resolved. They know what Nike did to my husband. So the Black leadership here is selling us down the river publicly, and I just want to acknowledge that's what this is. And this isn't going to go to support struggling Black residents. This money will obviously all just go to the wealthiest among us, and it's disgusting. But I'm going to continue reading. The gift from Knight and his wife Penny Knight to the 1803 Fund and Initiative revealed Monday is meant to fund education services, art programs, and other projects for Black Portlanders in the inner north and northeast Portland neighborhoods once known as Albina. And that's the key word, once known, because the area has been completely gentrified. I watched it happen because I went to school over there. I went to Harriet Tubman and Jefferson, and it's pretty obvious that most of the Black people have been removed, okay? They've basically been chased out. So this is an interesting time for Phil to be throwing his money around. But Albina was the center of Black society and business in the early 1900s, but by the 1960s, communities, it had been decimated after city-backed urban renewal projects leveled homes and community hubs. These construction projects, which built spaces like the Memorial Coliseum, Legacy Emmanuel Hospital, the Moda Center, and a stretch of Interstate 5, cratered Albina's Black population. The community, which is now represented by Elliott, Boise, Humboldt, Overlook, and Piedmont neighborhoods, was further harmed by the decades of gentrification that followed these projects. The 1803 Fund intends to repair some of this damage by investing in programs that support Black Portlanders. The fund was created by Rukiah Adams, the former investment chief of Meyer Memorial Trust and founding board member of the Albina Vision Trust, a nonprofit with a similar focus on economic investment in the historic Albina neighborhood. The Albina Vision Trust is perhaps best known for its work advocating for Black Portlanders via the massive project to expand Interstate 5 through the Rose Quarter. In a press release, Adams called Knight's investment unparalleled. It has the potential to significantly change the culture and landscape of Portland, Adams said. A place-based effort of this magnitude is unique and has never been done before in Portland, let alone the United States. It's not yet clear how this investment will be distributed or to which community organizations. At a Monday press event at Nike headquarters in Beaverton, Adams promised more answers in the coming months. Today, we're focusing on Phil's commitment to the fund. We don't have all the details or how the fund will work, Adams said, but we do know that the three areas it will focus on: education, place, and culture and belonging. The Knights are Oregon's wealthiest residents and have a long history of making significant contributions to academic institutions. Phil Knight has a history of giving to Republican politicians in the state. He said his investment in the 1803 Fund reflects his personal relationship with Northeast Portland. Oh, he has a personal relationship, all right, because he has a personal relationship with me and my husband that he's ignoring right now. It's really inappropriate. Some of my most important memories are connected to the east side of Portland, Knight said in a press release. Knight said that the handshake deal that launched Nike took place near the Memorial Coliseum. Knight also partnered with Black leaders in the 1980s to open the Nike Community Store, a shop that gives some of its profits back to the neighborhood nonprofits. The store has been shuttered since November 2022 due to retail theft concerns. Knight has another interest in the neighborhood. Last June, he partnered with Los Angeles Dodgers part owner Alan Smolinski to make a $2 billion offer to purchase the Portland Trailblazers, who call the Moda Center home. Jody Allen, the chair of the Portland Trailblazers and the trustee of the Paul G. Allen Trust, said last summer that the franchise wasn't for sale. Good job, Jody. Good job, Jody. You know what I'm saying? At Monday's event, Tony Hobson, senior co-founder and CEO of Black Youth Advocacy nonprofit Self-Enhancement, explained how Knight's investment came to be. Hobson said that he spoke with Knight after learning about Nike's $40 million donation to Black community organizations nationwide in June 2020, which we can see went nowhere, essentially. I found the courage to ask Phil, would he and Penny personally consider a much larger gift that could only make could not only make a difference, but could potentially make the difference in Portland's Black community, Hobson said. Obviously, he didn't say no. Hobson then introduced Knight to Adams. She looked me in the eye and said, "We will not let you down," Knight said, and I really believe that. Knight said that with the partnership of community leaders like Adams and Hobson, we have a unique set of circumstances coming together to give the city and community this opportunity. The 1803 Fund's board of directors is made up of longtime Black leaders in Portland who have never, ever reached out to us or tried to help us. I want to let everybody here know, including Hobson, Ron Herden, CEO of Albina Head Start, and Larry Miller, former Trailblazers executive and chair of Nike's Michael Jordan brand. Several board members who spoke Monday characterized the fund's mission to rebuild Albina as a challenge. Adams pointed to the state of the economy and education systems to explain why. We have market and government failures in education that we cannot deny, Adams said. Asking us to help remediate some of those problems, that's tough work. We're stepping right into some of the most challenging parts of our civic life. The 1803 Fund's name signifies the year in which a Black enslaved man named York was assigned to join the Lewis and Clark expedition to Oregon Territory. The Fund's website notes, "We are inspired by York's optimism as he imagined this landscape so full of promise for a new Black future." So, I bring this up today because, like I said, I consider this a huge slap in the face. It's not exactly 30 pieces of silver, but let's face it, this is our own community. The Black community selling us down the river. No Black leaders have ever contacted us or tried to come help us. And, my feeling is the Black community has taken so much money from Nike over the years and it's gotten us nothing. In fact, Oregon has continued to take money from Nike, and look at the state of things, especially here in Portland. My son was downtown today, and he literally sent me a picture. Somebody had diarrhea on the sidewalk, and that's amidst all the litter and filth. One thing I have to say about this experience, after my husband was blacklisted from Nike and treated so cruelly and horribly by the management up there, and personally by Phil Knight, who thinks my husband is garbage. He thinks my entire family's garbage. We have stayed together as a family unit, and my husband has been an amazing father. He's been there for our kids, even though he lost his career. When he was blacklisted from Nike, he had 15 years in the industry, and they took it all away. And he didn't just run off and say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to support my family or be there for my kids," like so many parents do. Especially, in the Black community, we have a crisis. Fathers are exiting families all over America today. The American father is disappearing, but the American Black father has all but disappeared. And here is somebody in our community that is doing that job and doing a great job. Our kids are all doing wonderfully, because they do have an involved, loving father. And so I just want to say shame on my own community, because both me and my husband are Jefferson graduates. We are being not just ignored by this community here where we live, but we're also being ignored by our own community, who desperately needs a quality role model right now. Money is not going to solve what's going on in the Black community, okay? All the gun violence and chaos, throwing more money at more programs to go put your kid in and you not being home, that's not a solution. So I'm getting tired of it. People, they just bow to the money, and that's one of the issues. We talk about, we have really disingenuous conversations about the slave trade here in America, because The fact of the matter is black people sold their own people, right, into the trade. They went inland and got their own people and sold them, you know. So we were all a part of that, and to watch that happen here in Portland, it's like all over the country, people are, you know, there's these groups asking for reparations. Well, how do you factor in, you know, these huge sums of money that come from these corporations like Nike? How do you factor that in? Should the Uyghurs send their application for reparations to the black community here? You know, where does it stop?
Shut the fuck up. You're so
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you for your criticism.
Thank you for your criticism. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Fuck me. Go to hell. Go to hell.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your compassion.
Come on, let's go ahead.
I know. We're supposed to take our lashes and go away. We're these annoying black people that keep coming up here, bothering people who can't stand it. But we're out here fighting for our rights we're supposed to have. And I'm sorry, the money's not going to make us so just because Phil made some donation that we don't even know where that's going to end up. No, that's not enough. This situation is going on. And when people, you know, in Portland decide to atone for it, maybe we'll go away. But we're not going to just take our lashes, burned up our kid, and then, oh, okay, we'll go away just to make you all comfortable with what happened here. I don't care how much money Nike throws at this community, or the downtown community, or Albina, or whatever. Portland is over. There's shit and piss in the streets. You know, businesses are fleeing, and you know what you're going to have here pretty soon is just what, 10 cities, and that's it? I don't know. You know, the fact of the matter is we are trying to stand up for something better, and you know, one of the things we need to be standing up for is parents. You know, if parents started doing their job and paying attention to their kids, because money does not replace you taking care of your kids. I don't care what happens in your life. You might get fired. You might get injured. Something might happen to you. You know, raising a kid is like a long-term project, okay? And long-term commitment. And, you know, everybody just walking out the door and expecting money to solve all the problems, or some teacher to be there for your kid instead of you. It's not okay. And, you know, what I really think is that there needs to be a much greater celebration in America for parents who are stepping up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? Because that is what helps our community. We need parents to step up to the plate. And, you know, specifically, this specific donation bothers me because the black leaders should be saying, we're done with the money. Okay, we need some real solutions. How do we start motivating our men to be home and take care of their kids? Your child should be enough. You know, we all go through stuff. I mean, people have come up here and said that to us before. You know, why are you out here complaining? Everybody goes through things. I understand that, but I also think everybody has rights. And it's very important to fight for those rights, because those rights are being attacked on all sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all being attacked. There's so much going on in our governments right now where our rights are being taken away, especially as adults. So it's very important you know about your rights. You're trying to use your rights, and you're trying to educate your children on what your on what their rights are and what your rights are. But you also need to be there for your kids. So I don't know why the black community can't make a deal with Phil and help us resolve this. But again, you know, to watch your own people, you know what I'm saying, sell you down the river, and this is a public choice. I mean, what this means to me, what this says to me is the black community has decided, the black leadership here has decided that they are not going to make Qadira or justice for Qadira a priority. They're going to take the money. And
Thank you, sir.
That's what everybody's doing. They're taking the money. Look at these people. They're so angry. You can't even talk about the money. You know what I'm saying? You say money and people start having a complete panic attack. But you know, when are we going to admit that what we have going on the planet right now is money worship? It's not use of money, it's money worship, which is dangerous. Okay, you have a small group of people, they worship money and they control everybody. Look at how Phil, he just threw this money out and everybody just got on their knees, even though we are out here in broad daylight. That should tell you something. If somebody's got enough money, you know, then there's another group of people that are willing to throw another group of people away to get the money. Always, 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 always. It doesn't matter what circumstance, you know, you're dealing with, which is why the wealthiest among us have such unbalanced and extreme power right now. And if they want to get rid of everybody, they can.
They can.
They can.
They can.
They don't have to share anything with anybody because everybody is willing to do this. They can pay the police to do it. They can pay individuals to do it.
They can pay doctors. They can pay judges. They can pay whoever they want. Okay, politicians are always in their back pocket.
Doctors, it doesn't matter because we're not stopping to reflect on the use of money or where it's taken our civilization over time. And we also don't stop to reflect on these people that we take the money from. Like Phil's money is all covered in blood, every dollar. Nike was built on the backs of child slaves, and it was Phil Knight's own idea at Stanford that got this entire country outsourcing all of our labor, which is leading to the downfall of America now. And nobody takes it seriously because they're on their knees in front of this money god, essentially. And I don't even know if America's going to be here in even 5 years because Portland is quickly being destroyed. And what will be left is who Phil chooses to be here. You know, Albina's looking more the way he wants it to look. You know, mostly white, few rich black people, and now he'll invest the $400 million, right? Because Portland is going to be one of your premier eco cities where the few chosen live. You know, that's what I can see. And like I said, wherever you live on the map, that's whose mansion you live in. So we live in Phil Knight's mansion. We're going to get his vision of the world, which is, I'm assuming, tent cities for the homeless until they're all dead. And, not much for anybody else. You know, you're going to be scrabbling. That's just the reality.
Folks, I just want to let you know that we're down here to help you. Okay,
right.
We're not here trying to bother you, and no, we will not go away. We're not going to leave society in this state because this is not how we're supposed to be. How do we get people to care about each other? That's a lot of what we get from coming up and speaking about this horrible thing that happened to our family is resentment, and there's not a lot of compassion here. There's not a lot of compassion. And there should be. There should be compassion. There should be people caring about what happened to a little girl here in this community. There really should be. But there's not. I see this happening all over the world. People are just not caring for each other. They just don't care. We are taught that it is okay to just walk over people who are dying in the street. That's fine. It's their problem, right? That's not our problem.
There's barely even anybody to report it to anymore. You know, there's just people literally dying in the streets. And me and my husband, we go downtown. We see the state of what's going on. I don't care. There's so much money in this world right now. But
there's plenty of money.
There's no compassion.
There's plenty of money, folks, to fix all of our problems. There's just not the will. People don't care about each other because we have been being taught for so long to care about something else.
And in fact, we want to help. You know, what I see right now is everybody in the community wants to shield Phil from this and shield Nike from being involved in this. When they got involved by themselves, adults, by the way.
These were their own decisions.
They made their own decisions.
They made adult decisions, okay, to get involved in this. And it wasn't a good one. They shouldn't have done it.
But, people need to remember that, Phil Knight is actually a brutal, bloody dictator, authoritarian. The way he runs his factories, people are brutalized, they're murdered, they're raped. All kinds of horrible things go on in the Nike factories. Employees are spit on, beaten, paid hardly nothing for their work.
And this is all condoned by Nike.
That's condoned by Nike, and it's condoned, really, by America, because we've allowed, we've put these people who come up with these ideas into such high places. Why have we exalted Phil for outsourcing? What Why do we think he's such a great man?
Well, because he has a lot of money, folks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like any other billionaire, just like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and
Elon Musk. I mean,
all
it
these
kind of never
people.
ends. It's like, oh, well, they've made all this money, so, I'm down on my knees, and they're going to solve everything with their money, but it doesn't really, you can keep throwing money at a problem. Like, you can throw money at your kid, but if you don't spend any time with your kid, there's going to be a lot more issues. And folks, I find it, sorry, go ahead.
Money doesn't necessarily mean that you care.
That's right.
Okay, you can throw money at any kind of issue that you want, but it's not necessarily going to fix the problem. And that's all we've seen. $2 billion has been spent on the homeless issue here in Portland alone, and it has gotten worse.
Yeah, that's since 2020 too. I mean, so we're going to spend more and more and more. And my theory is it all gets stolen. So we're creating an industry to make money on. We are not trying to solve a problem. We are creating a problem so people can make money. They want to see our leadership. They want to see homeless people because that gives them some reason to ask you, the taxpayer, for money. Sure.
And they are getting it. They're getting it hand over fist. They are paying out to whoever their friends are,
they
contractors.
They waste it all. It's incredible.
Who is actually caring for the people?
Nobody.
People aren't getting it. The people are not getting all of these donations and money from the government. They're not getting it. Okay?
No.
That's why there are people on the street right now who are dying. They're dying from drug overdoses. They're dying from
all kinds of stuff.
Just not even being able to eat.
It's like
we do not care about people. When are we going to realize that our world should not be based on money? It should be based on the care of people.
And if you're not using the money,
what we are.
If you're not using the money to take care of people, what are you doing with the money? Because the money keeps flowing, and people keep not being taken care of.
Hold on a second, though. I disagree with that statement. The money is not flowing. That's why you have a large concentration of a very few people sitting on top of civilization, and the money does not move around them. But they suck it up. They suck it up only as much as they need. They move only as much as they need to continue sucking up the money. But the majority of the money, this is why they're billionaires, they don't spend that money.
But it looks like it's flowing because somebody like Phil will come in and he'll get some couch change, because $400 million really is couch change to him. He'll throw it at a problem. We saw all this money thrown into BLM. Not a single thing improved for the black community after BLM.
As a matter of fact, it got worse because we went in there, BLM was fueled, and we destroyed black communities.
No, and people were so busy fighting over money, they weren't even interested in taking care of people. And I can guarantee you that's what's going to happen to this $400 million. Maybe they'll improve the community, maybe not. But I tell you, all the shootings, the chaos, the crime, you're going to see no slowdown in that, because everybody who's inking this deal, they're just worried about what they're going to get out of it. They're not really worried about improving the community, which, again, I think one of the main things that every community could use right now, I'm getting really tired of looking at the media, is why don't we uplift parents that are doing their job? Me and my husband, we're out here doing our job. I mean, I don't care if you want to come out here and yell at me. Somebody abused our kid. They didn't take responsibility for it. And
we're not happy about it.
They can just hear about it.
Yeah, we're not going to go hurt anybody, but you will hear about it.
Yeah.
This entire community is going to hear about it until something is done about it, until people start being held accountable and are acting in a responsible manner, because that's all we're asking. We're asking for people to be responsible. You should not have doctors in your community trying to kill children.
No.
Okay, you should not have police officers in your community actively covering up crimes. You shouldn't have judges running false proceedings in your community. But that is what is going on here, and we want it to stop. And just because me and my husband get out here, we didn't let this event destroy our lives, okay? When my husband lost everything at Nike, when our daughter was abused and burned, these were really tough times for us. But we haven't let it destroy us. So if that makes you angry, I don't know what
what to say. Like, I mean, get up. You know, every day you get up and you make choices. Me and my husband are choosing life. We are choosing life through faith, okay? We believe that, you know, this can actually come full circle, and that we can actually get the government maybe to start acting responsibly about at least one thing. And if we could get them to be responsible for one thing, maybe we can get them to be responsible for more things, and start having some real conversations. What? Government, money worshipers, whatever you want to call them. I actually should start referring to them as the money worshipers.
Yeah, because not everybody in government is bad. Right. I think that there are good people trying to do good things in government, but the problem is there is too much money worshiping going on here on this planet.
And I'm not suggesting anybody do anything stupid. Don't stop paying your taxes. Don't antagonize the government in any way. They're going to steal from you anyway. Just let them steal. But we need to start having these conversations and talking about what we've created here, because trust me, the money worshipers, they know what they're trying to create. And it's a world with just less people, okay? Which is why you see so much chaos.
They don't want to be responsible for you, okay? They just want to be able to use without restriction. They want to be able to use without restriction. You can see it. This is why these people buy entire islands. And what do they do with their money? Look at Jeffrey Epstein.
Nothing.
You know, they just want to diddle kids. Yeah, that's all they want to do.
You know, when you have that kind of, when you have access to that kind of money, it just makes you sick. So that's why these people are so sick. That's why they are basically
are disconnected from the rest of civilization.
They're all in like a murderous rage over everything. Like, they can't be happy for anything. Like, I mean, if you take somebody like Phil Knight, you know, he had the world at his fingertips. He could have, you know, really lived a much happier life than he's lived, but he's miserable, you know, because he runs around with his money and he hurts people. And, you know, there's no real redemption for that. I mean, you just kind of have to come back and do a repeat, because it's unacceptable to treat so many people that badly. Like, I read that he's planning to give his fortune away. Well, okay, but you got a lot more penance.
It's a day late, a dollar short for that,
it
folks.
really is. And to be, you know, ignoring what Nike did here to their own employee, you know, how does that uplift the black community? I'd like to know. How does that uplift anybody? Because Nike was a key player in this cover-up with our daughter. They were a key player in a lot of things. I wrote about it in my book. People don't want to hear about it because people like to pretend in America that all this outsourcing stuff has just been an acceptable behavior, when really we need to repent and recognize that we're losing America because we exported slavery, and it's time to pay the piper. That doesn't mean America needs to go anywhere. I mean, it would be a great relief if factory workers could get paid $5 an hour all over the world. But some people have to be completely selfish, you know, and it's really sad because you have, you know, the black community here literally screaming for reparations while supporting slavery overseas. It's embarrassing, in my opinion. It's embarrassing. Like, I don't know how you can keep a foot and bolt on both sides of that.
It's not responsible.
Like, people. How can you ask for reparations while you support slavery, while you're not even asking for the people in the factories to get a living wage? And a living wage where they are is like, what, we're talking like $5 an hour, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's not even something these billionaires don't have on hand that they're never going to use.
I mean, these people are getting like 25 cents a day.
I mean, they get nothing. You know, a lot of them, they get their wages deducted from their food and their housing. So literally they like live in these little compounds or whatever.
I've seen them, folks. I've been to the factories over in China. It's not good. No. And they were showing me the good factories, supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what is it really? Is that what measure of a man to go over to another country and make a deal with some crap leader who's going to whore their people out for 25 cents a day? What kind of person is that really? You know, that's not a good person. And then, you know, to transplant that here, where you just have people who they just want the money. They don't want to even.
They don't want to be responsible for people.
Accountable, no. You know, to anything.
They don't care if
it's not leadership.
They don't care if anybody is actually being cared for. That's what we need here on this planet. We need genuine caring for people genuine caring for life that is not being encouraged with the use of money. It's time we need to sit back, reflect on society, and say, hey, wait a second, what actually are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we encouraging? Because
what is civilization for if it's not to care for people? What is civilization for?
And why is there such this attitude, let's get rid of people, let's get rid of people, let's get rid of people?
Because there's not too many people on this planet, folks. This is a huge, huge planet. There's plenty of resources here to take care of all the life. And if we were focused on doing that, we might actually be able to achieve that goal. But our focus is not the care of people. Our focus is making money and owning things.
And we're not even having that conversation. And so it's interesting, you have all these billionaires that run all these factories, and it's like what my husband said, they've created this massive bottleneck, because the fact of the matter is, if they just be paying these people even $5 an hour, the people that are at least working in their factories could actually take care of themselves instead of living dirt holes. But they don't want anybody being able to take care of themselves, because again, they don't want everybody to have access to everything that's being made here. We haven't even rolled the toilet out all over the planet because not everybody can afford one.
Folks, we have technology available to us on this planet that would secure energy, free, renewable energy for everybody on the planet. They don't want you to have that.
Patent.
They don't want you to have that. They don't want civilization to be rolled out to everybody. The people in power, the money worshipers, they want everything for themselves. And it's time we start waking up.
We need to have a conversation about the money worshipers. You can't pretend they don't exist. Okay? Most people are using money. That's probably you. That's me and my husband. We use money. They are worshiping money. It's very different. And when you worship money, you are going to have obscene amounts of it. Why? Because you worship it. So, of course, it's very difficult for you to let it go, even when it makes no sense for you to be hanging on to it because you can't use it. It's just the same mental health condition that you see with hoarding, except for everybody, nobody likes a hoarder, but it's fine when people do it with cash. People don't like it when you do it with anything else. But when you do it with cash, suddenly it's not a hoarding condition.
Suddenly you're a god that needs to be worshipped.
And I'm just saying, we're going to see this $400 million go into this community, and I highly doubt we're going to see much change. We're not going to see, the shootings go down.
You might see the landscape change. It might look nice on the outside, but since people aren't actually caring about each other, since nobody actually cares about the black people, that's why a genocide is happening here in Oregon with black people right now, and nobody's really trying to stop it. No, people actually want these people dead.
No, and the black leaders, they're not thinking about their own people. They're thinking about their money. So that is shameful. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be the first one to admit it, because when I saw this article, I said, okay, go ahead, slap us in the face. We've been downtown for 2.5 years. Our daughter is clearly black. I'm half black. My husband's black and Filipino. I'm black and white. Why are we not a member of this community? Well, our own community has trashed us too. So we do that to one another. White people trash white people. Chinese people trash Chinese people, so on and so forth. I mean, there is a general lack of care for life on the planet. That's why we do 73 million abortions a year on planet Earth, because we're not trying to roll out the birth control to everybody. We're not trying to fix it. Getting rid of life has become, just secondhand.
That's just our MO, okay? Getting rid of life because we don't want to care for it has just become a way of life for people on this planet. But folks, that's not okay. It shouldn't be that way.
Well, we're supposed to be here learning how to care about the life. So this, even in of itself, this protest, it's more about, can you stop and care?
Yeah.
Can our leaders stop and care?
Can you see past your anger? Okay? Can you see past your anger and give a couple of thoughts to why we are here? I know you're angry. I know you're upset. I know you're annoyed. I know you're frustrated. But why are we here? Why are we here?
Exactly.
You know what? And if you took a couple of moments to really embrace why we are here, you know what? I think you might step back from that anger a little bit. You might step back from that frustration a little bit. And you might even actually be able to empathize with us.
It's difficult because it's not as like we have any any other options. Like, if we go away, all we do is just accept that this happened. And okay, a lot of people feel like, you know, we got everything because our daughter survived this. Yeah, she has lots of medical issues from this, but okay, she survived this, so we're just supposed to just get out of everybody's way and have everybody's face. But that is not the American thing to do, first of all. And second of all, it's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to make sure we are speaking up about this, because our leaders, they don't have any right to tamper with the legal system, to tamper with the law enforcement system that we've all agreed to, because
they don't have any right.
These people are making a lot of rules and laws for us right now. I hear about these bans happening nationwide.
And we're talking about for adults. We're talking
about bans, you know, they're banning things for adults. I mean, and hey, in downtown Portland, I think they just banned gas-powered vehicles for deliveries. There's going to be like a 16-block area where you can't deliver in a gas vehicle to certain businesses. I don't know how that's going to help anything.
Folks, they want to ban TikTok for adults?
But here's the thing, I mean, that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I don't need you to care about this. I care about it. I want
we care about it. We're going to keep on talking about it, okay? Because you should care about it. Mm-hmm. You should care about what happened here. And the fact that you have no compassion, that's not on us.
It's funny
that's
when
on
people
you.
say that we're not winning. No, you're not winning.
Yeah, you're not winning.
Every time I get out here, do you know how hard this is? I win. Me and my husband, we win every time we would get out. This is a win. We got up today and we did this. Ain't nobody even understand how difficult this is. This has been going on for 2.5 years. We've been out here free talking to the public and mostly people that hate us. So this is always a win for us. We always learn something out here. We learn something about our community. We learn something about our world. And we are standing up for what's right, even though we are standing alone. And we're watching the world burn. So when people walk past and they go, you're losing. No, you're losing.
You are losing.
You're losing.
You are losing.
You just made a choice to walk past something that is extremely serious, and it's affecting you. So, you know what? Here's the universal paradox. You are always free to choose, but you are not free from the consequences of that choice. So, Portland, you're not free from the consequence of choosing to ignore this. The consequences are forthcoming. They're happening every day.
They're happening right now.
You're choosing them because you're choosing irresponsible leadership. And that is a choice you've made. And
you are choosing to be irresponsible.
I think everything in life is a choice. From the minute you get out of bed to the minute you go to sleep, from the day you are born, and so on and so forth. You're going to be making a lot of choices. And all I can say is choose wisely. Me and my husband are choosing not to ignore this because we don't think it's a good idea. Okay?
This was irresponsible.
We know that our daughter lived. We don't know how our daughter lived. She survived a mortal injury. We believe that God saved our daughter. We believe this is what we are supposed to be doing, and we're going to be out here doing it.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to turn our back on this, okay? And we're not going to turn our back on our daughter or what we believe really that God has asked us to do, because we feel compelled to get out here. Watching the world burn right now, as we all patiently wait to bask in the radiation of the nuclear weapon that is probably going to be, discharged here shortly, because nobody in our government knows how to have an adult conversation. I'm going to be out here crying out for that not to happen. And if it happens, I guess that's what everybody else wanted to happen, as they run by and say, hey, nobody sees you, nobody cares about you. Okay, I'm really beginning to see, what actually God experiences, because it's just like, okay, you don't have to listen to God. You don't have to pay attention to God. You don't have to care about other people. You don't have to care about anything, as a matter of fact. That's your choice.
God gave you that authority.
And if you want to, don't stand around and complain when everything's going south, when you don't care. And that is what's going on in our world, is nobody cares, and so you have people dying in the streets. There's blood all over the walls. Everybody's upset. Everybody's angry. But guess what? Nobody wants to fix it because nobody cares. So good. Don't care. Keep on with that, and we'll see. We'll check in with you next week and the week after. How's the not caring working out for you? Because that's not what you're supposed to be doing here. So, when you pass on into your afterlife and you get told, guess what? You didn't care, so you didn't pass the class, so you're going back. Don't complain, because I'll tell you right now, on planet Earth today, the entry point is a disaster. So when you come back in, you might be in a dirt hole. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that.
You are coming back here.
You might, this whole class is getting held back. I mean, I know
this
everybody thinks they're going somewhere, but this is a collective exercise, and it's a mess. Why don't we just admit it?
We are making a collective decision, okay, to self-destruct, and it's not good. It's not good. Mm-hmm. We are watching people turn their back, okay, on what is right. We are watching people turn their back on being responsible, on being accountable. And that is not something that is going to help us evolve as a race of beings.
And it's not an accident. See, with our daughter, what we've got going on here, this is a choice. So the Portland leaders have made a choice to ignore this, and now the Portland black leaders have made a choice to eke a deal with the devil, essentially. That's who Phil is. He's the devil. And, I mean...
That's by choice.
That's his choice.
That's by choice.
He wants to be the devil.
He doesn't have to be.
And he's very clever. He came to America and he said, hey, I have an idea. Why don't you outsource all your labor to another country and
not pay them.
And not pay the people. And there you will grow and you will have riches beyond your wildest imaginations. But guess what, everybody? Look what it's leading to. Look what it's leading to. Now we are all just dependent on these corporations, right? And nobody wants to take a step back. I mean, right now, the black community in Portland, they had an opportunity to say, hey, yeah, we want this deal, but we also want to talk about what happened to this to Qadira. We want to talk about what happened to Renee. We want to talk about your policies in terms of how you treat marginalized people at your company. And guess what? No, they're not going to have that conversation. So sold down the river, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's a good idea. You know, it's a really bad look for the black community, because just wait till the Uyghurs and all the slaves globally are coming to you asking for reparations, because they're still alive. That's all I have to say about that. You know, when do we start? I mean, if the black community doesn't care about this, then that really tells me that we're completely divorced from what happened to our ancestors, to the point where I don't even know why we bring it up. I mean, I don't know why people are bringing it up. Why are you bringing it up if you don't care at all? You know, because they're the ones that should have the most empathy, and I see none. Not for my own community, not even a phone call, a letter, nobody's reached out. And it's sad, and the killings are happening every day, you know, and here's a black man who's a great father, a great role model, somebody the community should actually be asking to come speak and stuff, and instead it's just turning their back. So come on, we can see why things are going downhill. Things are going downhill because we're making the choice to have things be this shitty. And it's too bad. You know, it's not just this community. I'm not just going to come out and blame the white people for turning their back on us, because the black people are doing it too. So y'all are doing it in unison. Congratulations, you're doing something together. I don't think it's positive, but you're doing something together. And I will note that, because it means to me that you can work together and figure stuff out.
Well, we knew that because, I mean, we've all agreed on the money. You know what I'm saying? We've all agreed on the money. We just didn't agree what the money was for. Okay? We have no purpose as a race of beings. But we should. We should. Okay? And we have a choice, but we have no purpose. Our purpose should be to try to care for all of the life on the planet. It really should be simple.
And if kids were being told that and guided in that manner, I think we'd be doing a lot better, because if a child can know, when a child says, Mom, Dad, why am I here? You're here to help take care of all of the life. That's everyone around you, and your presence is necessary. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot, because I finally got to be sober. I really struggled a lot with alcoholism after my daughter was burned. And something I've been thinking about lately, I guess I'm 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm about 17 months sober now, and I was thinking about how it's so important to be present for your children, and present in this consciousness, because either you're out of consciousness or you're in consciousness. Those are the only states you can be in. Now, when you're dead, you don't have the choice to be in consciousness.
Not here.
Not here. But, you know, when you're here, you have to sleep for a while, and then in your waking hours, you can choose to be present or not, and it's very important to choose to be present. It's very difficult for me. I lost somebody really close to me last year, a cousin of mine. She was only 42 years old, and she drank herself to death. And it's very difficult to think about that and realize that, there was nothing here really that was something that she wanted to really be present for. And I would hope that if she comes back to this planet, that the planet is nicer and that she wants to be present, because we want people to want to be here. And that's a huge puzzle piece that's missing right now. This planet has just become miserable. Everybody is just fighting, yelling, arguing, killing. And if we don't stop that, more and more people are going to choose not to be present here. They're going to choose to not want other people present here, which is starting to happen.
No, that is happening.
Well,
definitely,
it's happening.
folks.
It's happening.
There is a consensus, and we talk to a lot of people, okay? We talk to rich people. We talk to poor people. The consensus is that there are too many people on the planet. Folks, I want you to know that is just not the case, okay? There's not enough people on the planet. There's too many people on this planet who are not being properly cared for. And that is our problem.
That's our main problem, because we're always trying to keep people from caring for themselves. It's always a shock to me.
And we're trying to keep people from caring for other people.
When you see people who live on the planet today who are working, in these factories 18 hours a day and they can't take care of themselves, that's incredible to me.
Folks, there should not be a prerequisite for you to be cared for by society. Our society should be caring for you because you matter. But that has not been established. That is not our understanding.
The better you take care of somebody, the more attention you pay to them, the more of an asset they're going to be. And we have really discovered that, in terms of trying to hold on to who we were through this process, because we could have really been a drain on this community. We could have ran around and been really violent. We could have stoked racial tension. We could have been acting completely crazy. No, we didn't choose to do that.
Folks, because that's not responsible.
I mean, we hunkered down, we've raised our family, but we've also held tight to this story, and we keep telling this story. And we've also held tight to this idea that we are what is valuable. Because when you can hold on to your value, then it's easier to value the people around you. And that's why we continue to do the I am the value exercise, okay? Which is, you guys see us all over this community doing this. And when we're out and about, we treat people like they matter. So,
because they do, folks.
Because they do. I'm not out here to, spread blame or hate. The fact of the matter is what we need is some accountability.
We don't want the people that hurt our daughter and hurt our family hurt. We want them held accountable. We want them to be responsible. We want them to be better people. And we want this community to be better.
And I want my own community. Like I said, I went to Harriet Tubman. I went to Jefferson. My husband's also Jefferson graduate. I want the black community to be better. We've been up here calling for J.W. Matt Hennessy to step down because he's a pedophile. And I don't think that anybody in the black community should be going to a pedophile for spiritual sustenance. And there's other black leaders in the black community that need to step down. Namely, these ones that just ink this deal with the devil. It's not okay. You've got a genocide. You've got people being shot every single day. Kids choosing to pick up a gun and not choosing to pick up their value. And that's a big problem. And that's because we need dad to get back home, for starters. Time with dad is priceless. Time with mom is also priceless. So I hope people hear me there, because I feel like that's one of the things, even though me and my husband have battled a lot of depression and a lot of things came up while we've been advocating for our daughter, but we've stuck together as a family, and that's a really important thing to do, because it keeps you focused and centered on what actually matters and present. And that has been a hard thing to do. Like I said, the fact that I've battled alcoholism, staying present is hard. And but it's something that I think about, because time in this consciousness is so limited. So choosing to be present even when things are tough, that is something that you're going to want to do, because you only get a limited time to really experience this. And that's what's really missing from our world right now, is people being grateful that they can even experience time in a consciousness. I mean, this isn't just a finite planet. This is a consciousness that we are all in together. And it's a very, very beautiful thing, But you have to actually look out and be grateful. You can open your eyes. You can see a tree. You can see the sky. The sun can shine down on you. You can talk to another person. These are all things that you need to learn to be grateful for.
Folks, we're creating this reality together.
That's one of the things that I've used when I've been really down and depressed is being grateful, picking something really small in my day to be grateful for. Really small. I've even been doing difficult chores and told myself, oh, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to, have this experience to do this work. Because all of this is an opportunity. The whole world, experiencing this is an opportunity. So I wish people would look at things more like that. Like instead of looking at this protest as a bad thing, maybe think of yourself as blessed. Because this is an incredible blessing that we've been able to continue to do this. Like I said, this is really hard work. This is not easy. This is not easy. We just get out here and we talk about this, and it's not really fun to talk about what happened to our daughter and what happened to our family. But it's an important story to tell.
Yeah, and we wish that we got more support in telling it, but there are very powerful people, unfortunately, who got involved in trying to make this happen and trying to cover it up, that we're just not getting that support. We could be getting your support if you cared, but obviously you don't care, not enough.
It takes some time. I mean, we're willing to work with people, but this is the kind of thing that people have to start caring about. Because we have to learn to care about everything here, because that's essentially the lesson. And I know it's complicated. Everybody feels that life is such a burden, especially here in 2023. I mean, the human race has been blessed with all these technological advances, and everybody is
all this life around us.
The complaining is louder than ever. Nothing's good enough. You know what I'm saying? People are not happy with any of it, and that's really unfortunate. We need to start. I think it's an attitude that we get from our leaders, because all they want is money. So they're, basically they are pushing that attitude onto everybody else through the media. That's all they think you should desire is money, 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 and money's not going to buy you happiness, health, none of it.
It's not going to make people care about you.
And it's not going to make people care about you. It's not.
And that's what you need, folks. You need for people to care about you. You do.
And you shouldn't want to just store up a bunch of money. I mean, you're using money to take care of your family. That makes sense. But I mean, when you start packing it away like the Phil Knights and the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musks, you get a real sickness there. And so people do need to be aware of these money worshipers, because they're very dangerous, and they may very well blow up the planet because they're chasing something that actually literally doesn't exist.
And you know what? We're going to help them do that, because we're using the money, but there are money worshipers who are directing its use. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as we're standing here thinking that, it's a normal day, everything's business as usual, and we're doing what we're, what we want to be doing, folks, in actuality, there are people at the top basically directing our society to get rid of us.
Right, because the thing is they just need a lot of excess stuff around them. It's incredible to me, the selfishness and the greed and the gluttony that we see now in the technological world. It was bad historically, but my God, now it's, when I see the arrogance of somebody like Elon Musk, where this whole planet isn't good enough for him anymore, the whole planet, he has to leave the planet to be happy.
Sorry, ma'am.
It's pretty incredible.
It is a protest, though.
It is pretty incredible.
We're going to be loud. Folks, I know you think that we're too loud, but I don't think we're loud enough, actually.
And the thing is we don't have the media on our side. So we're going to get out here.
Because we don't have any money.
About what we're going to talk about. We're going to keep trying to draw attention to what happened to our daughter. I mean, eventually this does need to be dealt with, because, Portland needs to, they need a clean house, big time. I can't believe, the filth of downtown. And if cleaning up the place means essentially starving everyone out, which is what's starting to happen. we're a family of 6, so I see what's going on with the prices in the grocery store. I mean, everything's going up and up and up, and the packaging's getting smaller and smaller. And this is all just a psychological game. They're inching, more and more towards you're going to eat bugs and bask in the radiation of their nuclear weapons while they sit underground. These people are insane, and unfortunately, they own our media. So we've got a long way to go. In terms of waking up the public. And me and my husband are going to keep doing that because we refuse to live in a world where people don't have rights.
And we refuse to live in a world where people are not cared for or considered what is valuable.
And I'm not going to live in an America where everybody just disrespects and disregards the Constitution. That is not okay.
No, because the Constitution...
Way too many people fought and died to build this place, and now you've just got literally a population that has just said, oh, well, whatever the people in charge want. They're not regarding the Constitution. Oh, well, I'm busy watching my phone. I'm busy watching TV. That it can't be that way. We have political actors now. We don't have politicians. We have political actors. We can see nothing gets better. The media just gradually pushes us all to the edge of the cliff, and things don't improve. So, I think it would actually help the Portland media to cover this story, because maybe we could have a conversation about something other than what they're shoving down our throats. So, which is all they want to talk about is how we're going to fight and divide one another, because I feel like that's all the media covers, is stories to make people angry, really.
And folks, the whole climate crisis, folks, they are trying to justify getting rid of a lot of people.
Just because
and you need to understand that. You need to understand that. Folks, this is not... Controlling the population has nothing to do with the population threatening the health of the planet. It has to do with controlling people, okay? And that's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing for a very long time. They want to control what everybody does. It's not their right. We are free will, sovereign individuals with built-in authority. It is your absolute God-given right to make free will decisions, and those decisions should be protected under the Constitution, and that's what it's for.
This is another reason why I'm so big on we need to start clearly defining the age of consent, because I see no other way to solve this problem with the world governments except for we need to have a clearly defined age of consent. I'm fine with it being 18. Somebody might say 21, but I think,
yeah, because I don't need...
things is not for adults.
No.
I don't think that any adult should be able to ban anything. I think there are
not
crimes.
For other adults.
No, I think there are crimes, and then there's age-restricted activities.
And crimes are when you're hurting people.
Right,
people, that's it.
Banning things for adults, that's not acceptable behavior. And all over, you just see governments on a tangent with that. These adults don't necessarily know what is good for you. So all these bans, they're not leading anywhere good. They're just making people fight. And rightfully, I understand why. Adults don't like to be told, I can't do this, I can't do that, because then what is the point of your adulthood? You know what I'm saying? I don't even understand why we're down this. We're down this road because we opened the door for kids to be doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And so now that it's turned into not just banning things for kids, we're banning things for adults. I think we need to get a handle on that right quick. So, my big thing is kids cannot consent, period. It's one of the things that the people who, brutally assaulted our daughter and everything, they like to put out there. Like at 8 years old, she was in control of what they were doing. BS.
That's garbage. They're trying to say that they weren't responsible for what happened to her in their care.
Right.
Folks, she was a child, okay? And she was under the care of adults.
Right.
And these people, they should have been being responsible with her, but they weren't being responsible with her. Exactly. And now they just want that to be how it is. They just want us to accept that, kids can do whatever they want to. Now they can just care for themselves. They can't.
And we're seeing that attitude everywhere is, kids can just, make whatever decision. I don't think so. I think once we've reached the age of consent, whatever everybody wants to agree on, then if you want to start moving forward and making your own free will decisions, I have no problem with that. And I think that there should be a clearly defined age so people know from childhood to adulthood when they've entered that time in their lives where they are going to be responsible and accountable for their decisions. Anyway, we're going to shut it down, and we'll be back next week for week 96 because, I mean, since we were just sold down the river, we know that this protest is going to continue for as long as it needs to go. Right now, everybody's turning their back on us. We'll wait for people to turn around. If they don't ever turn around, we'll be out here for the rest of our lives. That's okay too, because we are willing to commit to that. We know how to commit. We've been together for 28 years. So that's something that me and my husband have done well, is the commitment piece.
We're good at the whole commitment thing,
so we are
folks.
committed to the t-shirt exercise. And again, on May 5th, we're going to have something fun downtown for anybody that wants to come sit in the square and take a peep. But, you know, I think that everybody here knows that me and my husband, we definitely won the white t-shirt exercise. I don't think Britain won the white t-shirt exercise. I don't know why Charles is going to put on a simple white tee. He's not a simple man. He lives in the second largest home in the world. So, you know, these people are gluttons, and I don't think it's right really to be saying, oh, I'm going to show that I'm a servant of God behind the curtain and yada, yada, yada. It's just ridiculous to me. Anyway, we're going to shut it down. We'll be back next week for week 96.
Folks, we are not going to leave you alone, okay?
We're not going to leave this story alone.
We're not going to leave this community in this state. Okay?
I will also be editing my book in the near future to include a lot of these experiences. My book is missing a lot of information right now, such as finding out that, you know, our daughter's attorney had an underage relationship with Todd Burkholder's brother. Some other things that have gone on in the recent future that we talked about a little bit, but I don't want to keep rehashing new information. And then I'm going to talk a lot about these rallies because we have a lot of footage, and I want to start including this into my book and just adding that information because, let's face it, this story is still unfolding, and it's going to continue to unfold over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, however long we have here together, because we never know. Every rally to us is, you know, another blessing. We come out here and we do this work because it's important work to us.
So, folks, we're going to leave you with this, and this is something that you should understand already, okay, but this is not being promoted to you by the people in power. This is not being promoted to you by the media. It's not being promoted to you by your politicians. Okay, nobody really wants you to know this, but you should know it, okay, and you should embrace it. You should at least acknowledge it, okay? You are what is valuable. You
That's right.
are what is valuable. Not money, okay, not gold or silver, not cryptocurrency. It's actually you. You are what matters, and you are the reason why we should be running our society, okay?
Absolutely.
Your care is what should be informing our decisions, okay, and guiding our actions. Your care.
Amen.
That is the fundamental understanding that humanity needs to get here.
Well,
and we are off in La La Land somewhere. I don't know why we are missing this understanding, but it's such a fundamental understanding. And yes, the stars are not for man if we cannot establish this understanding, because wherever we go, we need to be taking care of the life around us.
Yeah,
and we're not going to be let out into, the universe with this understanding that life doesn't matter.
Yeah, and people can't, I can't imagine that people from other planets could even come here because, we will kill whatever comes. We kill people, on a daily basis.
We kill our own people.
On a daily basis.
That we live with.
We literally kill people for no reason on this planet by the millions every single year. And so that's why the COVID thing was really interesting, because it's just...
It wasn't about caring for people. It wasn't about saving lives.
It was about control.
It was about control.
And they discovered that they have a lot of control. So that's kind of why we're down this road of bans and all this other chaos. And it's going to be very difficult to get out of because we don't have a free and fair media. But me and my husband, we're going to keep getting out here because this matters to us. And And we're just going to leave you with the I am the value thought. And I hope that you do think you're the value. I hope you start embracing that because we need you to be the value.
We need you to be the value.
It's your personal behavior when you get out there today that's going to matter. So we need you not to pick up a gun. We need you not to hit somebody. We need you not to rob somebody's car. We need you to act like you matter. We need you not to kill yourself or anything like that. We need you not to rape a kid. We need you to do these things, and we need you to take responsibility for who you are becoming and who you are.
And if you don't think that you matter, folks, you are a danger to the rest of society.
That's right.
Okay,
so you matter.
You do matter, okay? And you matter to everybody else here on the planet, okay? And if we could just establish that understanding, we'd be getting further and faster. But that's not something that, like I said, is being promoted by the people in power. So we're going to stand down here and on the ground floor, we are going to try a grassroots effort to get people to understand that they are what is valuable.
Let's raise the consciousness.
Not the money. It's you, okay? Not the gold, not the silver, not the resources, not the cryptocurrency, okay? Not these central bank digital currencies that they're trying to establish. You are what matters.
Right. We need you to be taking responsibility for you, okay?
We need you to be actually caring for all of the life around you.
We need you to spend some time with your kids. We need you to take care of your community.
We need you to take care of yourself.
We need you to care. So let's end with I am the value.
Here it is, folks. I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value.
I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value.
And we're going to keep insisting on this week after week after week. And I do believe we can turn Portland around. So let's start working on it. You guys, every week we're here, it's a new opportunity. So be the value this week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, Multnomah Village.